What is up, y'all? So this is not a part of the God Told Me To series. However, this is a Godversation. What I have noticed is God ripping us out of what we have been dependent on and making us solely rely on what he has placed in us to pursue the kingdom. And so I believe that 2021 is going to be a year of resources for us. It's not going to be just about money, and it's not going to be just about a 9 to 5, but it's going to be a year where the gifts that God has given you from your birth, he is going to use that as the resources for what you need. So when I say resources, yes, money is a part of it, but if you watch sneakerheads, it's kind of like what they call the chase. So if one person owned a business and one person owned a sneaker store and one person owned a clothing company, a sneakerhead wanted a specific shoe, but he had connections with the clothing company. He went to the clothing company to get a particular outfit that the owner of the sneaker store liked, or the manager of the sneaker store liked, and began to make that exchange. The funny thing is, even if he used money to buy the clothes, the outfit cost less than the shoe. But because it was of value to the person that he needed to give him the shoe, that's the means, that's the resource that he used to get the shoes. And so we thank God for the money. We thank God for, the millions. But I have truly believed that this next year is literally going to go back to the Bible days. They didn't have a whole lot of money, but they had land. They had, unfortunately, daughters. They had livestock. They had assets, they had skills. What we have been doing is, if we have the skills to get money, we will use our skills to get the money to afford everything else that we need. What changes our mindsets from becoming rich to being wealthy is gaining assets. When you're rich, you are the asset. In this bracket, you are the asset to somebody's company, to somebody's business. And so when you are exerting your one skill in exchange, you are receiving the allotment of one thing, which is money. If you work hard enough and if you use your skill long enough, you will begin to accumulate enough money to become rich. You'll be rich in money, but that's the only thing that you'll have. But when you are wealthy, you can grow other assets out of yourself. So, for example, imagine this. You are standing in your front yard and you have one tree, and that one tree produces a whole lot of apples. You are rich in apples. Can't nobody tell you nothing. You are rich in apples. That's what it means to be rich, when you have that one asset that produces a whole lot of one thing. And what many of us have done is that we feel like if we work hard enough and if we work all these hours at our jobs and produce a large amount of income, we'll have a lot of money, which means we'll be rich. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But I want to broaden your perspective on the aspect of being wealthy. So we've already talked about being rich, but what about wealthy? When you're wealthy, you also have a peach tree, a pear tree, an apple tree, a plum tree. You have 4 trees planted before you. And let's say one tree is your ability to draw very well. One tree is your ability to do hair. One tree is your ability to sing very well. And another tree is a book that you wrote, that you published, and now it's available for people to buy. And the more assets you have, the more wealthy you are. And the great thing about wealth is, if you have 5 trees that all bear fruit in different seasons, you will never lack. Listen to me. The difference between being rich and being wealthy is, even if one thing does not work in one season, you still have 3 other assets to fall back on. So you may not have tens of millions of dollars in the bank, but what do you have? You have an amazing gift that you can lend to somebody who can introduce you to somebody that can get you what exactly you need. Stop telling people as soon as I get my money up, as soon as I get like this amount of money, because it's not about that. If you tell God what you need, He's going to open up an opportunity for you to use your assets to access resource. And sometimes money isn't even involved. Because God has dried up a lot of money, He has allowed us to cultivate our gifts and cultivate our talents to access resources. And I'm just really excited for that, because now He's getting out of us what He put in us. And we've been trying to tell God, like, yo, you need to do something, you need to do something, you need to do something. But God has literally been trying to tell us, no, use what I gave you. I felt that so strongly when I was praying the other day that it literally brought me to tears, because we expect God to do so much for us that we actually have the power to achieve in the earth. Like He gave Adam and Eve dominion, literally to reign over the land. So when we tell God that I need my mortgage paid or I need my car to get fixed, He keeps telling us, yo, I've already placed that on the inside of you. So you're asking me to do this for you, but I've placed the ability inside of you to get it done. Faith without works is dead. Yes, believe in me, believe in what I can do for you, but also believe in me enough to remember what I placed on the inside of you. Believe in me enough to believe in yourself, that you have everything you need to accomplish what I am calling you to do. So stop chasing money, because money clearly won't last. Use this time to fine-tune and develop your resources. Even in the Bible, when the landowner gave talents to 3 men, 2 of the men invested it and they flipped it. They used what they had and they flipped it. Because the one man was so afraid of possible failure, he chose not to do anything with that talent. He chose not to invest. And in that time, the landlord said, you lazy servant, you could at least put it in a bank, fam. Because at least I know in the bank, it would accrue some type of interest. That's what all of this is about. We will grow in wealth. It is wealth that leads us to resources that produces influence that can benefit the kingdom of heaven. So I just wanted to shed some light on that and to challenge our mindset on what it means to be wealthy. I know sometimes when we think of wealth, we think of just this overwhelming sense of being financially free. It's having a lot of assets that all together can help us become financially free. A lot of us have been trying to become financially free without knowing what our assets are. So we chase trends. We try to do what everybody else is doing to make a quick buck instead of taking real deal time to figure out what are our assets. Because when you know where your assets are, nobody can take that away from you. Nobody can take your ability to create out of you. Nobody can take your skills away from you. That's the best thing about having assets. Nobody can take it away from you unless you let them. I pray over each individual that's watching this video that we no longer become trapped in this mindset of being rich, but we begin to cultivate the assets that God has placed on the inside of us. And that is so. I love y'all. And I'll catch y'all in the next video. Bye.
Girl, I know, right? I'm out here making these videos trying to make God's name great, and they are just not buying it.
Hey, how y'all doing? We just talking about how much we love y'all. Make sure you hit that subscribe button real quick and a little notification bell on the side just to let you know whenever I'm posting, because honey, as you can see, I be posting, but y'all don't be seeing, and we need to fix that, okay? And last but not least, like this video simply because you love me, and like always, I'll catch y'all later. Bye.